Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into it. We're diving deep into what actually makes a professional life successful.
And it's maybe not what most people think. We're looking at networking, but maybe reimagining it a bit.
Exactly. Our source material really pushes this idea of networking not as, collecting contacts, but as building real long-term relationships. Generously.
That's the key word, isn't it? Generosity.
It seems to be. So our mission today, we're pulling out the absolute core ideas, the actionable stuff. You, our listener, you want practical knowledge, right? No fluff, just clear steps you can actually use.
And that's what this is about. Less theory, more how-to.
Right. Now, before we jump into the first big idea, we've got to ask, if you like what we do here, if these deep dives help you, please take a second right now. Hit that like button.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference for us. And maybe drop a comment. What's the biggest thing you hope to learn today? Or maybe a networking challenge you're facing.
And definitely subscribe. That way you won't miss the next one. Okay, done with the housekeeping. Let's dive in.
All right. So the absolute starting point, the foundational truth our sources hammer home is this. Your personal network isn't just like a nice to have. It's a prerequisite.
Prerequisite. That's strong. Like you can't succeed without it.
Pretty much. Long-term, sustained success. The sources say it's basically impossible without other people supporting you. We love the idea of the lone genius, right?
Totally. The self-made person.
But it's mostly a myth. Sooner or later, you hit a wall. You need insights, introductions, maybe just honest feedback, and that comes from your network.
Yeah.
Trying to build a career without one.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine building this beautiful house, pouring everything into it, but you build it right on the sand.
Okay. I see where this is going.
The foundation's just not stable. It looks good for a while, maybe. But when things change, a storm comes. Economic downturn, industry shift, you're vulnerable, you could sink.
That's a really vivid picture. And it's not just a feeling, right? There's data behind this.
Oh, absolutely. Decades of it. There's a classic study, you might have heard of it, from Getting a Job. They asked hundreds of guys, 282 men, how they actually found their jobs.
And the results?
It tells you everything about how opportunity really works. A huge chunk, 56%, found their jobs through personal contacts, people they knew.
Wow, 56%, so more than half. That means just applying online or answering ads, that's not the main way.
Statistically, no, not even close. Compare that 56% to, I think it was only 19% who got jobs through ads.
19.
And even fewer, like 10%, got hired just by sending in their resume cold. So, yeah, access, trust, the stuff your network gives you, it outweighs just being visible on a job board.
And I guess that's even more true now, right? With jobs changing so fast, people moving around more, the whole gig economy vibe.
Exactly. Turnover's high, security's lower.
Yeah.
In that kind of world, your reputation, your connections, that's your real safety net. If you're known as someone who's helpful, who's generous, reliable.
People remember that.
They do. And good networkers, they rarely stay unemployed for long. Because when one door closes, their network opens others. Think about it. The person who's an assistant today.
Could be running the department tomorrow.
Right. And if you treated them well, helped them out back then,
yeah,
they'll remember, you'll be on their short list. It's like this intangible currency you build up.
Okay, so the why is clear. It's essential. But let's tackle the big how problem, or rather the why not. Fear. The fear of rejection. Just the word networking makes some people cringe.
Oh, absolutely. It feels transactional maybe, cold, or just plain scary, walking up to strangers. Erg.
Yeah, it can feel really awkward.
And that anxiety, it's totally normal. It holds back a lot of really smart, capable people, especially if you're maybe a bit introverted or perfectionist who worries about saying the wrong thing.
So what's the solution? Are some people just naturally good at it?
Very few, actually. That's the good news here. It's not some magic charisma you're born with. Networking is a skill, like learning to code or public speaking. It can be learned.
Okay, if it's a skill, how do we learn it? What are the, training steps? The practical things you can do?
The sources suggest basically a three-part approach. First one, learn from the best.
Meaning?
Watch people who are really good at it. See someone work a room effortlessly. Or handle an introduction smoothly. Don't just be impressed, analyze it. Take notes, even. What do they say? How do they stand? How do they transition?
So treat it like studying technique, like watching game film in sports.
Exactly. It turns it from this mysterious art into something you can actually break down and understand. Second step, continuous study.
Study what?
Well, things like how to have a good demeanor, how to project confidence, how to speak well. Basically, Communication skills. Take a course, read books on conversation, practice active listening. You're essentially polishing the tools you'll use.
Makes sense. Observation, study.
Right.
What's the third piece? Because you can't just learn in theory.
Nope. Third step is crucial. Just do it. Take the plunge. Practice is everything. And to make it less overwhelming, the sources suggest a really manageable goal.
Okay, I'm ready.
Aim to meet just one new person a week.
One a week? That actually sounds doable.
Right. It's not about going to some huge conference and collecting 100 business cards you'll never use. It's about consistent, small steps. One new person a week, that's 52 new potential connections in a year. Do that consistently, and the fear starts to fade. It builds momentum.
That really breaks it down. Okay, so courage is part of it, taking that plunge. And there's an amazing story that illustrates just how powerful a single act of courage can be. Keith Ferrazzi's father.
Oh, it's a fantastic story. Really powerful. His dad was a laborer, working class, no real power within the company's structure. But he had huge dreams for his son, Keith.
And he saw an opportunity.
He identified the one person who could make the biggest difference, the absolute head of the entire firm.
Wow. Not his direct boss or even his boss's boss.
Nope. We're talking the big boss. No. His boss's 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 boss. Way, way up. He essentially decided to leapfrog the entire hierarchy.
That takes guts. Serious guts. He must have known the risk.
Oh, absolutely. The risk of getting fired, or at least reprimanded, was huge. But he weighed that against the potential reward for his son, and he decided it was worth it. He faced that fear, walked up to the most powerful man in the company, and asked for help for his son.
Incredible. And what happened?
The CEO? The head of the firm. He was apparently just floored, not necessarily by the request itself, but by the sheer audacity, the courage of this working man stepping so far out of line for his family.
So he wasn't angry?
No. He was so impressed that he personally paid for Keith to go to the best school in the country.
Wow. That one act?
Changed everything. Completely altered the trajectory of Keith Ferrazzi's life. It just shows that scary first step, if it comes from a genuine place, it can unlock unbelievable doors.
That's a powerful lesson. Courage opens the door. But then what keeps the relationship going? You mentioned generosity earlier. Is that the key currency?
Absolutely. This is the core mindset shift. If your first thought when networking is, what can this person do for me?
Yeah.
You're already losing.
So flip it around.
Completely. The successful networker is always thinking, how can I help this person?
Okay, but let's be real. For ambitious people, that can feel risky. Like, what if you just end up being used? People taking advantage of your generosity.
That's a fair concern. And it's about the mindset behind the generosity. You can't go into it keeping score, expecting an immediate tit-for-tat return. It doesn't work like that.
But what's the payoff?
The payoff is trust. The more you help others, genuinely, without expecting something back right away, the more trust you build. The more people see you as reliable, as someone who adds value. And then down the line, when you do need something, they'll be ready, even eager, to help you. You often get back double or triple what you put in, but you have to be patient.
So it's like an investment, but in relationships, not stocks.
Exactly. And there's a great analogy the sources use. Don't think of relationships like a cake, right? Where every piece you give away makes your slice smaller.
Okay.
Think of relationships like muscles.
Muscles. How so?
The more you use them, the more you exercise them. By helping, by connecting, by showing up, the stronger they get.
Right.
Every time you send a relevant article, make an introduction, offer support, that's like doing a rep. It strengthens the connection.
And the opposite is true too, right? If you only focus on yourself, only take.
People see through that fast. Nobody wants to invest time in someone who's just there to collect contacts or call in favors. Those people, the purely selfish ones, they end up isolated. They might have a fat Rolodex, but no real power, no real support. They're alone.
So generosity is key. And loyalty too, right? It has to go beyond just professional favors.
Yeah, absolutely. To make these connections really deep, really strong, the loyalty has to be sort of holistic. It's about showing up when things get tough personally too.
Like what? What kind of things?
Well, maybe someone's going through a really rough divorce or there's a family illness. Offering genuine emotional support then, just listening. Maybe helping out with something practical that's totally outside of work, like helping them move, or offering some specific advice if you have relevant expertise.
But isn't there a risk of getting burned out? Trying to be everyone's support system, where are the boundaries?
That's the art of it, managing that. The sources aren't saying you need to solve everyone's problems, but sometimes even just half an hour of your time, given sincerely during a crisis, that can build a bond for life. Because it shows you care unconditionally, not just when it benefits you professionally. It's about targeted, genuine empathy. being present when it counts.
Okay, that makes sense. Quality over quantity of support, almost. Let's shift gears a bit to the tactics. Strategic connection. What's the biggest timing mistake people make?
Oh, this is a huge one. The classic mistake is waiting until you're desperate. Waiting until you've lost your job or you're launching a business and need clients now to suddenly start networking.
Right, panic mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People can smell desperation. It makes you seem like a burden, not someone they want to connect with. The analogy the source uses is perfect. It's like trying to buy life vests after the ship has already hit the iceberg.
Too late. And probably annoying to the people selling life vests.
Totally. Your neediness just overshadows any genuine connection you might try to make. People naturally pull away.
So the principle is build the network before you need it.
Yes. You have to approach people proactively when things are going well, when you don't need anything specific from them. That gives you the time, the runway, to build those essential qualities: trust and mutual understanding.
Because those take time. You can't rush trust.
You really can't. If you only pop up when you need a favor, you get labeled. You become that networking nuisance. The person everyone knows is just insincere, maybe a bit shady, definitely looking to exploit connections. Don't be that person.
So patience again, it's a recurring theme. This is a long game.
It really is. A marathon, not a sprint. You earn trust bit by bit. And there's that amazing example of Bill Clinton showing just how systematic and long-term this can be.
The cue cards, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah. When he was just 22, a student, long before anyone knew his name globally, he had this incredible habit. Every single night he'd sit down and write down the names of everyone he'd met that day on index cards.
Every single person?
Apparently. And he wouldn't just write the name. He'd jot down key details about them, things they talked about, personal stuff. He was intentionally building a system to ensure his relationships were based on real knowledge and understanding, not just fleeting encounters.
Okay, that's intense. For the average person meeting dozens of people, maybe at an event, is that realistic, writing cue cards every night?
Probably not for everyone, though. It's a fair point. But Clinton's method highlights the principle, the intention. It's about the relentless commitment to actually remembering people and following up.
So what's the practical takeaway for us non-presidential types?
Maybe dedicate, say, 15 minutes at the end of each day or maybe once a week. Focus on the, say, 3 most important or interesting people you met. Send a quick personalized email, not generic. Reference something specific you discussed. Or connect on LinkedIn with a note that shows you were actually listening. The goal isn't the physical card. It's the systematic effort to turn that initial meeting into something more solid.
Okay, 15 minutes on the top 3. That feels much more achievable. So once you've made that initial connection, how do you deepen it? Turn a contact into a real acquaintance, maybe even a friend. What are these relationship glues?
Right, the glues. These are the things that make the connection stick, make it meaningful. And the key insight here is that it's not about the quantity of time you spend together, it's the quality.
Quality time. Makes sense.
Real bonds, whether personal or professional, aren't usually forged in the office during work hours. They're built when you spend quality time together doing something else.
And what's the best kind of glue for that quality time?
According to the sources, a shared interest or activity. That's the magic ingredient. It shifts the dynamic from work connection to people enjoying something together.
And it could be anything.
Pretty much.
What?
Sports, food, collecting things, debating politics, hiking, volunteering, anything you both genuinely enjoy. And crucially, these connections are best built away from the office, away from formal networking events. People are just more relaxed, more themselves, more open when they're not on.
So find common ground outside of work. Okay. And when you are talking, especially maybe in those more relaxed settings, how do you make the conversation count? The sources say something surprising. Avoid small talk.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, right? But think about it. How memorable is another conversation about the weather or how bad the traffic was?
Not very. Usually quite boring, actually.
Exactly. So the rule is ditch the mindless stuff. Instead, aim to be attentive, be honest, be open. Look for chances to share something genuinely interesting, maybe something personal that reveals a bit about who you are, your passions, your insights.
But how do you do that without sounding weird or like oversharing? If someone starts complaining about their commute, how do you pivot gracefully?
You need a few transition phrases ready. So if they mention traffic, instead of just agreeing, you could try, the commute was rough, but it gave me time to listen to this amazing podcast about related interesting topic. Have you heard it?
Really?
Or, yeah, traffic's one thing, but what I was actually thinking about this morning was share a brief, interesting thought or observation.
Ah, so use the small talk as a jumping off point, not the destination.
Precisely. Or if talk turns to work stress, maybe share a genuinely useful insight.
Yeah.
I was feeling overwhelmed too, but I recently read this book on relevant topic like productivity or mindfulness, and one idea really helped. You're offering value, sharing something thoughtful. That makes you memorable. People remember how you made them think or feel, not the generic pleasantries. They'll actually look forward to talking to you again.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about adding value even in conversation. And that connects to visibility, right? Being
Yeah.
memorable, being seen. The sources draw a parallel between Hollywood stars and good networkers.
Yeah, it's a great comparison. What do they both need? Constant effort, determination not to just fade away. You can't be passive and expect to build or maintain a strong network or a strong public profile. It takes relentless sociability day in, day out.
And the scale of effort required for some really successful people is pretty mind-blowing.
It really is. The sources give some great examples, like a CEO who makes it a point to talk to at least 50 people every day, not by email, not by phone.
50 a day? How?
He physically walks the floors of the company offices for hours, talking to everyone from the mailroom staff to his top executives. It's intentional visibility, intentional connection built right into his daily routine.
Wow, okay, that's dedication. And then there's the Hillary Clinton example. The sheer stamina involved.
Oh, yeah. Ferrazzi talks about traveling with her when she was first lady. The schedule was just brutal. Up at 5 a.m., speeches, events, visits, just nonstop. And on one particular day they tracked.
Yeah.
She shook something like 2,000 hands.
2,000 in one day. I can't even imagine. My hand would fall off. And my brain would be mush.
Right. But here's a truly remarkable part the source points out. She wasn't just going through the motions. She was actively remembering names, details about people she'd met before. That combination, the massive scale of interaction, the physical endurance, and the mental effort to actually connect personally, that's elite-level networking. It's about truly seeing the person in front of you, even amidst the chaos.
Okay, so visibility and effort are crucial. But just being seen isn't enough. People have to actually want to connect with you. Which brings us to the dinner test.
Ah, yes, the dinner test. It's that gut-level filter people use, often subconsciously. When they meet you, they're asking themselves, would I actually want to spend an hour having dinner with this person?
And if the answer is no,
Then you're probably not going to build a strong relationship. If you're boring or only talk about yourself or seem uninformed, you fail the test. So to make people want to spend that time with you, the sources say there are two absolute must-haves.
okay, number one.
Have something interesting to say. You need to be able to hold your own in a conversation about more than just your specific job. That means staying curious, reading widely, being informed about current events, maybe some science, arts, travel. You need conversational range. Basically, don't be boring.
Requires ongoing effort to stay interesting. And the second essential.
This goes deeper. You need to embody a unique message. It's not just about having pleasant chats. You need to stand for something specific that makes you distinct. An idea, a skill, a particular approach or passion. Something where you're seen as an expert authority.
An expert authority, that sounds daunting. How does someone cultivate that? It's more than just having a hobby, right?
Much more. It's about intentional, focused development. Like Ferrazzi himself. He decided he wanted to be an expert in innovative marketing. So what did he do? He read everything he could find. Not just casually, but actively engaging with the ideas, synthesizing them. He sought out the leading thinkers in the field, debated with them, learned from them. He built his authority through relentless learning and engagement. You have to be ambitious about your chosen area and willing to share what you learn.
So find your niche and go deep. That unique message becomes part of your personal brand. Okay, so that's how you become compelling. But building a network, one person at a time, still sounds slow. Is there a way to accelerate it?
Definitely. And that's where super connectors come in.
Super connectors, what are they exactly?
These are the people who just seem to know everyone. They have huge networks, often thousands of contacts. But it's not just the number, it's the diversity. Their contacts span all sorts of different fields, industries, social circles. They act like hubs in the network.
And there's actual research on this, isn't there? The Milgram study.
Yeah, the famous 6 degrees of separation experiment from the 60s. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Milgram sent letters to people in Nebraska, I think it was, and their goal was to get the letter to one specific stockbroker in Massachusetts.
But they couldn't just mail it directly.
Right. They could only send it to someone they knew personally, someone they thought was closer to the target.
And what happened?
Well, the letters that actually made it took different paths, obviously. But the amazing finding was that a huge proportion of the successful letters all pass through the same 3 people right near the end of the chain.
Same 3 people out of everyone.
Yep. Those 3 were the superconnectors. Their broad, diverse networks acted like bridges, allowing information, in this case, letters, to cross big social distances. It shows that connecting with just one superconnector can give you access to exponentially more people than trying to meet everyone individually.
Okay, so strategically, we should try to find and connect with these people. Where do we typically find them? What kind of jobs do they have?
They tend to cluster in professions, where meeting lots of diverse people is just part of the job description. The sources highlight a few key areas. Politics and lobbying is one constant interaction with different interest groups and power players.
Makes sense. What else?
Journalism and public relations. Their whole job is about connecting people, sources, ideas across different fields. And then, maybe a bit more surprisingly, bar and restaurant management.
Really? Bartenders and restaurant managers?
Think about it. They see everyone. Politicians, artists, business leaders, tourists, locals, people from all walks of life, often in a relaxed setting where conversations happen naturally. They're constantly trading information, hearing things, making introductions, just as part of their daily work.
Huh. I never thought of it that way.
So yeah, actively seeking out and getting to know people in those kinds of roles can be a massive shortcut to expanding your own network's reach and diversity.
Okay, that's a great practical tip. We've covered mindset, strategy, acceleration. Now let's get really personal for the listener. Building a personal blueprint for their success. It starts with knowing what you actually want, right? Finding your blue flame.
Exactly. Success rarely happens by accident. You need clear goals. And the blue flame concept is about finding that sweet spot, that overlap between what you're truly passionate about and what you're actually good at.
Why is that overlap so important?
Because if you're doing something you love but aren't good at, you'll get frustrated. If you're doing something you're good at but don't enjoy, you'll eventually feel empty or burned out. The blue flame is where passion meets proficiency. Following it leads to satisfaction, prevents that feeling of just grinding away at something that isn't right for you.
Okay, so how do you find it if you're not sure? There's a test.
Sort of a self-reflection exercise, yeah. Pretty simple, actually. Step 1, list all your dreams and goals. Don't filter. Big, small, serious, silly, get them all down.
No judgment. Got it.
Step 2, make a completely separate list of everything you genuinely enjoy doing. Things that give you pleasure, where you lose track of time, hobbies, activities, types of tasks.
Okay, dreams and enjoyments. Then what?
Step 3, put the list side by side and look for the overlap. Where do your ambitions line up with things you actually love spending time on? That's the potential blue flame zone.
And there's a reality check component too.
Crucial final step. Get feedback. Talk to someone you trust, someone who knows you well and will be honest. Ask them pointed questions. What do you really think my strengths are? Where are my blind spots, my weaknesses? Where do you see me needing help to reach these goals? That outside perspective is vital to make sure your blue flame isn't just wishful thinking.
Right, keeps you grounded. Okay, so you found your blue flame, your core mission. Now you need a plan to actually get there. Enter the Networking Action Plan, or NAP.
Yes, the NAP. This is the tool that turns the mission into reality. It's your roadmap, your specific to-do list. It breaks down the big dream into manageable steps and keeps you focused day to day. It provides that structure and motivation.
How is it structured? Because vague goals don't really work.
It's very methodical. You start with the end in mind. Where do you want to be in 3 years?
Why 3 years specifically?
It seems to be a good time frame. Long enough to make real significant changes, but not so far off that it feels abstract or impossible. It's tangible.
Okay, 3-year goal. Then what?
Then you work backwards. What needs to happen by the end of year 2 to be on track for year 3? What about year 1? Then break it down further into 3-month chunks. What needs to be achieved in the next 90 days? This creates a clear timeline with milestones.
And within each time frame, there's a specific goal structure.
Yeah, this is helpful. For each period, 3 months, 1 year, 3 years, define an A goal and a B goal.
A and B.
Your A goal is the main target, the big achievement related to your blue flame. For example, become a certified project manager. Your B goal is usually the practical logistical thing that needs to happen to support the A goals, like save enough money for the certification course or find a mentor in project management.
So A is the what, B is the how, or the support needed?
Pretty much. And then the final crucial part of the NAP. For every single goal, A and B, across the whole timeline, you need to write down the specifics.
Like what specifics?
The actual places you need to go. maybe specific industry events, companies to research, the tools or skills you need to acquire certifications, software proficiency, language skills, and, critically important, the names of specific people who could potentially help you achieve each step.
Wow, so it gets really granular.
It has to. That's what makes it actionable. Your final NAP isn't just a vague wish list. It's a personalized, detailed instruction manual telling you exactly where to focus your energy, who to reach out to, and what steps to take next. It's your driving force.
That sounds incredibly powerful. Okay, so the NAP guides your actions. But how do you influence how others see you while you're taking those actions? We need to talk about personal branding.
Absolutely. Just like a company like Nike or Apple, you need a brand. It's how you differentiate yourself, how you become memorable in a positive way.
So step one is defining the brand.
Yep. Develop your personal branding message. Keep it short, like 2 sentences max. To get there, answer those core questions. What really sets me apart? What are my biggest strengths? What do I want people to think of instantly when they hear my name?
Boil it down to the essence. Then what?
Step 2, brand packaging. You need to make sure everything about your outward presentation aligns with that message. Your clothes, how you speak, your haircut, your online profiles, your business card, even how your workspace looks if people see it.
Give me an example.
Okay, say your brand is calm, analytical problem solver. Then your appearance should probably be neat, organized, maybe understated. Your communication style should be clear, logical, data-driven. Your online presence should reflect thoughtful analysis, not impulsive rants. It all needs to tell the same story. Consistency is key.
Makes sense. Step 3.
Step 3, become your own PR company. You have to actively manage your reputation. Seek out positive attention that reinforces your brand. Maybe volunteer for a challenging project that showcases your skills or consistently offer well-thought-out ideas in meetings.
Proactive reputation building.
Exactly. And just as important, avoid negative attention. Don't be the person complaining all the time. Don't demand things like a raise if your performance doesn't clearly justify it. Every action either builds or damages your brand. You need to be consciously managing it.
It's a lot to manage on your own, which leads nicely into the need for support structures, right? Mentors and peer groups.
Oh, absolutely critical. No successful person gets there alone. Think about top athletes or musicians. They all have coaches, mentors. It's the same in business or any field, really.
So find a mentor.
Yes. Find experienced people who are willing to share their knowledge, their insights, their network. It's like the old apprentice system, learning from a master. It's still one of the most effective ways to accelerate your growth, especially in complex or fast-changing fields.
And it's not just about looking up to mentors, but also looking around you at your peers.
Hugely important. The peer group effect. Research consistently shows that who you surround yourself with has a massive impact on your own success.
How so?
Well, think about it. If your close circle is ambitious, supportive, successful, always learning, that rubs off on you. Their standards become your standards. Their connections become accessible to you. Motivation is contagious.
And the opposite is true too, I guess.
Definitely. If you're surrounded by negativity, complacency, people who aren't going anywhere, it's incredibly hard not to get dragged down. Success and failure are both socially transmitted. So choose your peer group wisely. Surround yourself with people who reflect where you want to go.
Wow. We have covered so much ground today, from why networking is essential all the way to building your personal brand and choosing your circle.
It's a lot, but it connects. If you boil it all down, the sources seem to point to 3 core pillars for successful networking, or maybe relationship building is the better term. It's openness, determination, and empathy.
Openness to connect, determination to keep going, and empathy to make it genuine.
Exactly. It starts with understanding yourself, that blue flame, but it thrives on truly appreciating and helping others.
So just to recap for everyone listening, we started with why contacts are vital, that 56% stat, Ferrazzi's dad showing amazing courage. Then the mindset shift to generosity relationships, like muscles, not cake. We talked timing build before the crisis, like Bill Clinton and his meticulous cards.
Then the how, finding relationship glues outside of work, ditching small talk for real conversation, accelerating with super connectors like those Milgram found, and finally, crafting your own plan. The blue flame, the detailed NAP, building your brand, and leveraging mentors and peers.
It's a comprehensive framework.
It is. And that leads us to one final thought, a challenge, really, for you, the listener, to take away from this deep dive.
Okay, let's hear it.
We spent a lot of time emphasizing how crucial it is to surround yourself with successful, supportive people, people with good networks. So the provocative question for you is this. Take a really honest look at your current peer group right now,
Huh.
the people you spend the most time with.
Okay.
How actively are you cultivating relationships with people who truly reflect the ambition, the success, the values you aspire to? Are you intentionally investing your time and energy in the relationships that will lift you up and push you forward? Or are you just passively letting your circle form?
Whew. That's a tough question to sit with. Requires some real self-assessment.
It does, but it's essential if you're serious about growth.
Absolutely. Well, if this deep dive has sparked some ideas, maybe helped you think about your own networking action plan, or maybe just encouraged you to reach out to one new person this week, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. What was your biggest takeaway? What's the first step you're going to take based on this?
And please, if you found this valuable, hit that like button. It truly helps us keep creating these dives. Subscribe so you don't miss out on future explorations.
And maybe share this with someone you know who's building their career, someone who could use this kind of strategic roadmap.
Great idea. Until next time, keep digging deep.